But just quick, go through just name and, job title, what you do with Holder.
Kelly, senior superintendent with Older Construction. Been with the company since about 2010.
2010. Gotcha.
Michael Gamboa, safety director, Holder, 7 years now, working for Old Construction.
Yeah, and I'm Travis Beavers. I've been with Holder for about 7 years, superintendent. Just about it. Enjoy it. Love
That's
it.
that it? Yeah. Well, I can tell you first and foremost, just the culture of being out here. And I do this stuff all around, right? And I can tell when I'm in an environment where it's like, it's about it, and I've noticed it just getting to know you, Casey, just like that's where it starts, right? At the top and Holder. That's why I'm just grateful to be out here doing it and get to work with people that are like trying new things, thinking different. We care about our people, not just lip service. You know what I mean?
Always.
And that's just been awesome for me to get to witness and watch. So kudos to all of you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, you got something special going on out here, and I can see it in the people and the ones that were coming up and talking to me. And so, that's the good stuff. So y'all onto something.
I learned a lot from the gentleman to our left here. The simplest things can make the most impact on the worst of days to anybody in the field. Right. And, when we first met, he had a lot of wild ideas. There was a lot of change in his conversation. That, why would we do that? And then I started to see the effect of the little things that he just implement.
Nice.
So I'm against my wishes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've always had this approach that, and I tell it to the site all the time, is be kind to everyone because everyone's dealing with a battle that we know nothing about.
Right.
So I just spread that kindness because you just don't know. Everybody has stuff.
That was that backpack analogy we saw presentation where I was talking about, like everybody gets up and we can't control what happens in the morning at the house, right?
Yeah.
And they're loading that backpack full of stuff.
And but when you come across these guys, and I greet everybody, you just never know that good morning, sir, how are you, could make or break their day.
Mm-hmm.
And in our industry, everyone's a traveler. Everyone from somewhere different. I'm a traveler. My home is Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. So I get to go home every couple of weeks, but I'm not a relocator, so I don't live here. So, they deal with things. They're in hotels. Their families are maybe in different countries or in different states, and it's a lot on the individuals.
Right.
So,
And I mean, the stress, that's what I'm all about, right? How do we help people with tools and techniques? Because the job is stressful and risky, right?
Yeah.
And we know they've got these other variables that are just life stuff that mostly, that's what's so cool about bringing this into the construction industry is a lot of times it's the type of people that aren't going to talk about it, right? But by having that kind of leadership that just proactively says, hey, I'm going to set a tone that you can talk about it, right? And somebody that they look and they respect, that vulnerability, that's your credibility. You know what I mean? And so I love that.
And Casey and Travis, and the site knows this, all of the workers and trades, they have an open door policy. Like if something's going wrong out there in the field, come see me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everyone knows our names, they have our numbers, so we're approachable and reachable at the same time.
I'll tell you something I heard today. Somebody came up to me when I was out there just talking about this. And this was, unscripted, and she was talking about you. She was like, that's it. Because I was talking about how cool it was to get, us to meet. You bring us out here. And she's like, that's the thing I love about Casey. And she's like, he's a guy that says I have an open door policy, and it really is open. Mm-hmm. She's like, and when you walk in and sit down, you have his attention, right? Because there's a lot of people that think, oh, I got an open door policy, but I'm typing my emails as you're trying to talk to me. And it's like
the worst thing you could do to put them off trusting you is to have them come in and sit down and start talking to you and ignore them.
Yes,
to their face.
Yeah, that's
you're never going to get them back.
No,
right? So it's literally just put the phone down and close the computer. I'm all yours.
Mm-hmm. And again, knowing that, because I know just a little like how busy you all actually are, so your time is precious, but you understand it's much more precious for me to turn around and because a lot of times too, if you're open to that, they're going to tell you something that might be worth hearing, right? Yeah. There's going to be the ones that will come in just to piss and vent and bitch, and you can handle that, but so that's
sometimes if you unpack that with them, though, there's something underlying there that probably needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to be doing is mining to what is the root issue. You get past all of the emotion and
What is the problem?
dive into what would help. And they're really gonna pull you to the solution that they're looking for. May not be something we can give all the time, but sometimes just halfway is all you need, right? And we have a wonderful person in our HR department, Andrew London, and he is continuing to teach
He's a saint.
us
saint.
all the time.
He's an angel.
An angel. He's an angel. Sit straight from heaven.
He really is. Given an associate an opportunity to just get it off their chest, sometimes that's all we're looking for.
Yeah.
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 They just want to be heard.
Right. I use this as a technique because I'm all about techniques and tactics, right? Because sometimes this stuff's hard, when we're caught up in the stress. And there's a big part of what we talked about, like mental fitness training and this psychology, is just understanding the nature of human emotion and behavior, right? And every human being on planet Earth, we all have our same, and it doesn't matter, black, white, Chinese, male, a brain is a brain, a person's a person. And we all have our same, we all have the basic needs, right? Food, water, shelter. But every human has one basic want, and it is they want to feel like they matter.
Right, absolutely.
Right? That's all people want. I just want to feel like I matter. And 99% of the time, if somebody's pissed off or upset or mad, it's because someone or something made them feel like they don't matter. Right? And so a technique I use, and this is something you guys can start, because when that person comes in, and it sounds like you all are already doing a good job of it, when they start kind of complaining or venting or something, it's because somebody made them feel like they didn't matter, right? Maybe, and it might have been you. I don't know, right? But the first thing what a lot of leaders will do is they turn around and they just start cutting them off, right? We'll do this and do that, do this and do that. And now we're in this like exchange and nothing's getting accomplished. Now I'm pissed off, and I don't know what, but this is where like the training and the discipline. So when the person comes in and they start doing their thing, my knee-jerk reaction sometimes is to just, this could be your spouse, right? But the strategy is, what I do, the technique, I visualize that person wearing a shirt that says I matter. So I visualize those words across their shirt.
Good one.
Right. And that's a technique that just reminds me that when they get done complaining, crying, bitching, I just need to make sure I say or do something that makes them feel like they matter. And it's as simple as saying, hey, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the crew. And it'll get them kind of de-escalated, and you let them speak, and now they can get more to what the actual thing was, right? And so that's just a really good tool that you can use that's like, and you guys that's what I'm seeing already, which is great. You all are not just already saying people matter, you're showing them that they do. Yeah.
I think everybody's journey is different, and like me coming from the trades when I first started with Holder and when I was at England and Stubbs and stuff, like I never took safety seriously or anything. I'm like, hey, look out for safety. I'm trying to do this. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
gotta
trying to
get it done, right? Yeah, yeah.
And then I came into Holder and it still didn't stick, but I started within inside of the Mustang program, and they had a very robust safety system. And like as I started to progress through it, I started to understand it. I started to see how it affected people. And then I went to the next job that I was kind of given more leeway and more runway to, hey, go run this job. And I started implementing some of the things that I saw. And like Casey knows this, I'm a big stickler on job sites got to be clean, because that's where it starts, right? Mm-hmm. You come home from a long day of work and the house is dirty, you're just like, dude, I've been dealing with this all day and now the house is dirty. It already puts you in whatever kind of, it accelerates whatever mood you're in, or it can swing your mood the other way. And then I remember as being a tradesman coming into work, if I went into a room to say wire up these lights and there's duct work and there's stuff I'm immediately upset.
Right.
Like, and then the rest of the day, all I'm doing is talking about complaining about how all the other people are doing wrong. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not productive. So that, I think, coupled with the idea that I'm starting to understand that people don't want to hear about safety from a policing standpoint. And it's a behavioral thing. And that's why I'm super interested to really start diving into your program, because there's a lot of things that I've tried to implement that I know are the right thing, but it's like bro science, right? Like I just know this because I see and observe it,
right.
And I know it to be true through my personal experience, but I couldn't explain to you the actual science behind it. I mean, I know a good bit about like neural pathways and some of the things you've talked about, which are interesting. But I think it's really important that we as a industry start to go after the behavioral part. And I thought it was really interesting to talk about the risk management side of what you do,
Right.
and understanding that taking a breath, because I think the number one thing we start to see when we really dive into some of the metric keeping tools that we use for safety is oftentimes the biggest thing is just complacency.
Right.
It's just that, to your point, the guys have mental fatigue. You've
They
been
do.
working for 8 hours
Right.
and you're still doing a dangerous job, and you just put your hand in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Or you just accidentally do something because you're a human and it's that fatigue. And I'm really glad that I have a partner in Casey out here that we agree a lot with the same things. We try to, like, every single holiday, we're sending the guys home for that 3 days. Like, if we can't go make that 3 days up, we're bad leaders.
Right.
Like, I shouldn't punish my workforce because I made a bad plan.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go get with the rest of the group and go figure out how to make it up, give the guys their break, and then come back and get after it.
And I love what you said there, and I'll kind of, what, all of everything you just said was a big reason why we built My Steady Mind like we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing this kind of proactive mental fitness training solution in.
I love it.
Because, and we, I said, I don't come from the construction industry. We're new into it, and I've been working with teams and leaders to really figure out, how do we get this training retooled to meet the needs so it can work out here at scale, right? And to your point, this is what I've seen most, because I did focus groups with superintendents and foremen, and this is what they told me. They're like, look, if you're bringing a program in that looks and feels like another safety program, we're not going to do it. Not only are we not going to do it, we're going to do the damn opposite,
Right.
because we're so sick and tired of you shoving safety shit down our throat,
Right.
right? Or if it feels like another mental health initiative, we're not going to do it,
They
right?
were disengaged before you walk in the door.
Yeah,
And we've seen that.
because it all feels punitive, and nobody wants to. That's why EAPs don't work. That we our program is a pre-AP, and you got to make it fun and sexy and cool and hide the medicine in the cheese, and then they're like, finally, thank you. But go ahead.
So this all came, to a head during COVID. We're all aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody started, really shoving it down our throats.
Shoving it being mental health,
Mental health
yeah,
awareness and
awareness, memorizing the problem.
we understand the drive behind it. We get it as leaders, but the manner in which it was presented drove disengagement.
Mm-hmm.
And the disengagement has exacerbated year after year because nothing has changed in how we talk about it. And so when Bridget introduced you to me, and you and I got to talk about, what you and your team brings to the table, I was like, this is different. But we have to pursue this. We're not just going to come out here and talk about what the problem is. Like, we don't really need to talk about the problem at all.
We're done. No more
Yeah.
awareness.
We're going to talk about exercise.
Solution.
And, one of my longtime beliefs is if you want to succeed at anything, you have to be intentional about doing it. Nobody gets up in the morning and goes to the gym and walks through their exercise process without being intentional and comes out on the other side successful, right? The people that just show up are the same a year from now as when they walked in the door that first day.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a plan. You have to execute your plan, and you have to learn from what you did. And that is part of who Holder culture is, especially in regards to our safety.
Yeah.
Those are our words to live by.
Yeah.
And so your program and being intentional when you wake up, start your process. Right.
Yeah, and to your point, and I know I'm ex-military, you're ex-military, and we're a veteran-owned company, and to that point, because what everybody's doing, it's easy to get up on stage and talk about the problem. Anybody, but only a certain type of people, like sports psychology, we see it as training, not treatment, and it's all about routines, right? And routines get results, and that's what they used to say in the military. There's two ways to do things: the right way or again.
Yeah.
Right. And that's your options: the right way or again, the right way or again. And so,
We need to take that to our quality department.
yeah, two options, right? The right way or again. That's it. And so that's why I draw the parallels to physical fitness training, is because, if you like, everybody knows what it takes to have a good body, right? But who's going to do it? It's hard. It takes progressive acquisition, and it's a life skill. You got to do it your whole life, but this is the cool thing about mental fitness training. Like physically, if I want to rechange my body, physical fitness training, so to hypertrophy, that's how you rechange muscle, right? That requires intensity and duration. So hard work over time. You're talking an hour a day, 5 days a week, and I may not notice change for 2 months. Mentally, because it's neuroplasticity pathways, our brain can't grow like a bicep because it's got a skull around it. So it grows through pathways. So mental fitness is intention and consistency. 1 minute a day. It's just being intentional. Why am I about to go do this BAMO breath, right? And then do it and so it doesn't take a lot, but it still has to be a routine, and that's our goal in working with partners is how can we take these simple, we call them the stars, something they always remember, like a BAMO, and sprinkle it in a way that tradesman can actually do tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Right? And just condition them, hey, when you get in your truck after the morning, buckle in BAMO. That's all I'm asking before you step on the job site.
Yeah.
Right? And it'll start to just create these we call it a little tactical pause, right, in their day that lets them just kind of like take that breath before I step into the next thing. Right? But go ahead there. You're going to say something, Trey.
Yeah, I just I kind of spurred a thought. I'm a big gamer. I know Casey is. Well, we play different types of games, but and sorry, I always try to relate.
Well,
to
I now got to know what kind of games. Like you can't just leave me hanging. Like what kind of games are we playing?
I'm a big.
He's got to be like
I'm a first-person shooter, competitive PvP player.
Oh yeah.
He likes to play more like player versus environment kind of games where it's him versus the game and there's quests and things. I just like to go battle and shoot people.
Yeah.
Like that's
I've trained a lot. I used to train a lot of pro gamers in Europe. So my state of mind, that's it. Yeah, we used to go.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking about that.
Because
sometimes
the gaming industry. Well, a couple things, and I don't want to get too off topic, but just like in the gaming industry. So the biggest thing in esports was it trying to get recognized as a sport.
Right.
And now it's officially recognized as a sport. It's huge in Europe. Like that's where I train, right? It's massive. They sell out stadiums, 60,000 people watch, it's crazy. So I worked with a company called Kingwin. Kingwin. They're a big online platform in Europe for.
I know who they are. I'm not super familiar.
So Kingwin has EPCs, Esport Performance Centers throughout Europe. That these professional teams, like if there's going to be a big Call of Duty tournament or something, right? These professional teams will come to these esport performance centers for 2 weeks to prep for the tournament, and they've got like nutritionists and physical therapists and massage and all this so that they can be an optimum performance. And so we would bring the mental training into that. I'd bring one of my SEALs, because they love all the military stuff, right? But it was again hiding the medicine in the cheese. So you position it as, look, you want to say, split seconds matter in the game. And you need to make sure you can have that cognitive endurance and that cognitive capacity to say in sustained focus. But the beauty was the esports industry from a sporting has the worst mental health.
100%.
Right. Because the average playing career of a professional gamer, 18 months.
Yeah.
Before they just mentally break down. Right. And so that was their big challenge was how do we grow esports without this stigma of mental illness? And so we worked in that industry, fascinating industry. I'm not a gamer, but I have to see the intentionality and the focus it takes to do that. So,
but you're a nerd.
I'm a nerd. I'm a massive nerd. Yes.
So you probably remember and understand way back in the day with computers, we had to defrag our hard drives.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Go through that process, and I've always looked at my time playing video games that's my time away from the job where I'm defragging my brain.
Yeah, it's your
because
escape.
if I'm focusing on the game, I can't think about anything else, and it forces me to stop stressing out about things that generally may be out of my control.
Right.
I'm so responsible. We are all responsible, but some of these things are outside of our control. And we still have to figure out ways to make an impact on them.
Yeah, right.
And you need to pause thinking about it in order to come back detached to focus on the solution to some of these problems.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think like the biggest reason I brought up the whole gaming thing was A lot of times you have a lot of really good games, and at this day and age we talk about attention span, right? And there's that constant like content release. But I think one of the biggest things you see in the gaming world and why games die is there's no end game. Right? There's no solution. There's no what am I
Mission
grinding?
accomplished. Yeah.
And I think that like I kind of thought of that a little bit this morning. When you spoke about mental awareness and all that, it's like having a video game where there is no end game, right? Mm-hmm. There's no result, and that's why the people leave,
Right.
is because it's like, why am I doing this?
Right.
But with a program, and I really like the idea that you've thought through that of, yeah, they understand that these problems exist, but what do I do to make it go away?
Right.
What is the solution? Because most of the people that work in this industry are very solution-driven people.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a goal to go achieve and accomplish, they're like,
Yeah.
great. I got stuff to do.
Right, and that's the beauty of the design of My Steady Mind and why it works well in these, like I said, VUCA environments, right? Volatile. So, like, I'll work with NASA, right? I've been the mental performance coach for NASA for 4 years, and so our program is science-based and science-backed, right? It's not woo-woo, hippy-dippy stuff, right? But the thing, and this is why, to your point exactly, there's no ambiguity. We know what our goal is. It's to create this ECR and IER, right? That's my end goal, is to have that formula. And that when you do the training, like it's a 9-module course, and it's a step-by-step, you guys are going through it, right? Step 1, step 2. And so everything because that's why most of the mental stuff out there in the world doesn't work or doesn't land, especially for people that work in these types of industries, because it's just ambiguous. It's just pie in the sky. It's like, and you see it all the time. People will go to like a 5-day mental wellness conference, and they'll come back home and be like, I can't tell you one damn thing that we talked about. All I know is people are screwed up and everybody's killing themselves and suicides everywhere, because there is no, that stuff's not, it's not grounded as training and techniques and tactics and routines. And that's the way My Steady Mind is. Like, you come through it, we're going to teach you how to do it. We're going to show you the techniques. You still got to do it. It's not passive, just like physical fitness. And then at the end of it, and that's what's good from like a leadership perspective, is it creates this shared language that we can all talk around, and we can say, hey man, you're looking kind of stressed this morning. Did you do your ECR? No? Go do one in the truck, right? And it gives them more. Did you do your IER? And then again, if people it's simple for you. It's like, hey, you either do it or you don't. If you don't do it, quit bitching. And so that's the thing that makes it very, like, moves it out of this, and it's very solution, because that's what the construction, they're doers, right? They're not sitting around with my hands and that's why they can't stand all this talking.
Right. So I think, you mentioned it this morning, shared language creates culture.
Yep.
And one of the things that we struggle with is, we have a strong culture as Holder Associates, but we are up against our trade partners' culture. And we don't share the language, because what we speak is probably not what they hear from their people. So we're trying to always bridge that gap.
Can you give me an example of that?
Not without specifically calling out people, probably.
Or in a way that does, just like, because the language is always important, right? And that's always a challenge, especially with companies that have a really good culture and language, and we work with people that around us that may not. But is there any, I was wondering, examples of something that...
we have a pretty fundamental belief system that safety isn't a priority, it is a culture, it is who we are. Mm-hmm. Because safety as a priority means that it could be reset and put somewhere else.
No.
And we are up against that with our trade partners all the time, who still believe it falls in a priority. And if schedule or cost is now the priority, then in order to solve the problem, safety goes out the window, because it's no longer at the top. There's no time for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what I mean about that shared language.
Yeah.
If they're hearing something different from their leadership than what they hear from us, they don't get to pay attention to us, because we don't write their paychecks.
Right.
Right. And we're always working against that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we are successful when we get their leadership to buy into what we bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when that happens, it pays big dividends.
Yeah.
In the field.
Yeah.
Big dividends in the field.
Right. And that's part of when you mentioned it earlier, a big thing, because that's what it said. With my state of mind, what we've done over the last really 2.5 years, we just sit back and watch. We watch the industry, all the players from the insurance carriers down to, and I've just been watching and studying what has created this kind of ecosystem, right? And there's a lot of good that comes out of it and a lot of bad that comes out of it. And what we're trying to do, to your point, is yes, everybody's ultimate goal should always be for people to be safe. We all agree. I think but the thing that derives a lot of this is going to be money, and it's all, and that's what you're up against is this work harder, longer, faster, produce, right? And what the best teams and organizations out there understand is the secret to production and performance is slowing down.
Correct.
Not speeding up, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And this is where organizationally we're trying to figure out how we, create this new culture around risk management, not safety, wink, wink, right? Which it is, and start to figure out how, because that's what we all know, like companies are going to make a lot more money when there's less rework, right? When we don't have $100 million in claims every year. Mm-hmm. And all of that stuff is a result of this busy, what I say the two biggest risks are: distraction and frustration, right? And so we're working with, insurance companies and stuff now because we can show that if you integrate mental fitness at scale, it will reduction incidents and accidents, which saves people more money. But all of us know it's just good for your people, which is what we care the most about, right? So you have to position it and frame it in a way that it doesn't look like this safety initiative or mental health initiative. It's, hey, you want to reduce your claims this year by 25% and save $60 million? You better integrate mental fitness, which is true. And I tell people all the time, the most expensive thing you can do is nothing. Okay. Don't do anything and see what happens.
Yeah, you can't steer ship that's not moving.
Right. But it takes, that's the thing. That,
like you can't steer a ship that ain't moving. And it just kind of floats.
It just kind of floats,
Right. So doing nothing doesn't help.
That's what I'm saying. So that's because people will still, don't do anything. I don't care, But that's what ultimately, because that's all we care the most about. I just want people to be healthy and happy.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
But it's this kind of just design of this industry, and it's not unique to just construction. There's others. That's really kind of this North American, like, hustle, go, grind, produce more. Hyper capitalism that safety pros kind of feel the brunt of. Because it's like double speak. What's more important? The people or the profit?
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. I think it's. I think a lot of times, to Casey's point, a lot of the pushback we get comes from I'm taking a deep breath right now.
Good.
Just thinking of it just kind of gets my blood boiling. But what do you want me to do about it? Mm-hmm. I want you to care,
right? Yeah.
Like that's all I want. Yeah. I want you to care enough to buy in to what I'm trying to do here.
Right.
And I think that's the frustration Casey's kind of alluding to with a lot of the subcontractors. And I can only imagine with some of our other people that are out on these joint ventures, what that's like, where you've got two GCs on one job, and here we are trying to lead this culture, and the other GC's like, what are we doing? Like, let's just make the profit and get out of here. It's like, no, man, come with it. So I think that's a lot of the frustration is I think, to your point, if people have to do it, they're just like, yeah. Whereas with mental health, you just have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to do anything.
Yeah.
So that's the easy button. So when it comes to the actual production of the work of a program and the training and all of that, that's where kind of we see the pushback. It's easy to get in a room and say we'll do all these things, but actually going and doing them, showing that you care, is what actually gets the results. And I think we've, as a team, have done a really good job of that. And it's why we have the culture we have right to on the job site. And I think that's typically the feedback we get from just about everybody that comes out here is kind of what you alluded to, that the people out, I mean, not everything's perfect, but I know that the people out there know that we're trying to do everything we can.
Yeah. And I heard that from 10, 20 people that I had with 700 or so out there. I mean, and I just, as a person that gets to go do these types of things all around in a bunch of it, like when you get into when I go do one, and I pretty quick, I can pick up pretty quick, like, what's this place like? You know, how are people in the room looking at and like, does leadership leave as soon as the session starts? You know, that kind of stuff, and like, it just getting to know you guys like that on this and that authenticity and that vulnerability. Like, people feel that and they see that, you know, and they also know that there's a game that might have to be played, but like, he's got my back. Right, and that's awesome. You know, that's why we're out here. You guys are looking for continuing to help people. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, the huge difference is we're present. Like,
Right.
we don't just stay in the office.
Word,
We are present. We're out there. We're in it, and it means everything. Not only just present physically, but mentally.
Yeah.
When we start our day in the field, we are present.
Yeah.
And I think that's a game changer.
Yeah, that's why that go gray on your phone, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I never do that. I mean, I went back to my color screen, but
yeah.
I'm never going to look at this go gray.
Well, that's the way it works, you know.
So I'm never going to look at this. It worked really well.
I'm still on.
Yeah. And that's what, you know, presence is a skill, you know, and that's really the most important skill. And you know, in my study mind, we treat like when you guys get into module 4, that's on presence. And I say all the time, I'm not a perfect dad, but I'm a present dad.
Yes.
You know, and I try to be present with my kids, you know, and I fight that, you know, when I'm at their baseball game, like, you know, the ego in me and everything is I need to be checking my phone and sending emails, so I got a business to run, you know, and that's all just ego and fear stuff. So having that awareness and using terms like presence and then being present for your people, I say all these corny one-liners I have, right? But the best gift you can give somebody is not a present, it's your presence. And in the world we live in now, where everybody's, you know, disconnected, lonely, and they just feel like when you get around somebody that actually shows up and looks you at the face and says like, hey man, like, I'm here for you, right? Like, what's up? And means it.
Yeah.
Like that, like you said earlier, that tradesman, right? That might have been the first time in 6 months anybody's acknowledged her or him, right? And now that's awesome, you know.
We are very fortunate to work with leaders that believes in the things that we believe in, and that is of the mindset that if we want our industry to change, we have to be the tip of the spear of the change. And they support the things that we need to go do to make an impact.
Yep. And those are the people that I love working with, right? Because what we're doing here, and that's why we document all this and talk about it. I mean, we as a company and as partners are trying to transform an industry and totally disrupt how people think about mental health, you know, and change the narrative. And that's what I've always known is in this country, right, which I love, you know, but mental health is never going to get solved in the school systems. And there's reasons for that. You know, I don't think it's ever going to get solved by politicians or government. And there's reasons for that. If we want to transform mental health, it's going to be done through entrepreneurship and strategic industry partners that bring it, right? And that's what is, and it's forward thinking, innovative people like you. Because I still meet people like, shit, Stu, I ain't do it. Okay, no, I'm not going to chase you, bro. I don't care, right? Yeah, like, let me find the people that are leaning in, get it out there. We learn from you just like you learn from us. Set a new standard, and I can already see, that's like the visionary. I can see 4 or 5 years down the road from now, like, what things look like, you know, and you all are helping set a standard in the industry that's moving that narrative. Because what is it right now? Safety Week, right? Mental Health Awareness Month. What's going on all around the country? The same old song and dance. And that's what I want to talk about now, like, because that's what I see is everybody's so tuned out with this mental health awareness and stuff. But when we come in the way we do our training in this mental fitness and make it fun and cool, you know, and so like, tell me some of the stuff you saw, you know, as leadership, getting to kind of witness, you know, the people in the room respond to this approach, you know. I know you were telling me some cool stuff that you saw that you just don't normally see during a presentation.
This morning?
Yes.
Yeah, like just what did you see?
Well,
That was
first
different?
go ahead. This is the first time I've ever noticed this, and I've been in this.
So we did it, just so anybody doesn't know watching, we did so you got Safety Summit this week, and we came out and we did 2 keynotes for about 600-800 people. And so we did an hour presentation where I spoke on mental fitness and talked about what it is and how it works and teaching them techniques. And then Coach John, who's running the cameras back there, did it. And this is what's awesome, and I'm going to give Holder credit on camera right now so everybody sees it, right? Because what the thing we've always been excited about is bringing this to the Spanish-speaking community, which is a big part of construction, right? And so we're converting all of our training into Spanish. And John, who I trained up and become my amigo, man, and and fellow veteran. But he spoke to a group of probably about 100 or so, 150 in Spanish after. And that was the first time ever that mental fitness training has been taught to Spanish-speaking community. Happened today, right?
I've
Ever.
never
You
seen
guys made that happen.
so many smiles on a construction site in a room at the same time. John, kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos
to you. That was,
That was huge. In the moment this morning, about 20 minutes in, there's maybe 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
And we're up front, so I'm looking at the audience, I'm looking at faces, and for the first time today, it dawned on me that this industry, it doesn't care who you are. Like construction takes everybody, right? Educated, maybe drop out of high school, trade school, black, white, Spanish, Chinese. It doesn't care. Don't speak English. Construction is an industry that takes all walks of life, and you can look in the faces of the people. You had it full attention this morning. I mean, everybody was locked in. Once a guest speaker gets past 10 minutes, it's a wrap. You lost that audience, but you didn't. And it was well over an hour. And to me, that was amazing. We stood there up front for an hour, and I think when we did some technique with the hands. But Casey and I don't know if he got the picture. We did this back-to-back thing. I don't know if you saw that.
I heard you talking
in front of the audience, but the people were looking at that. You know, you got two leaders that's leading the site and how we interact. I thought it was pretty funny. You made us do it a second time.
I had to ask for it because I saw you. I was away. I thought it was cool, so I got a video of that. You know, I had to,
and that's what I love and I want to hear, because I mean that's what I bring. That's what we say. Like, a brain is a brain. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Chinese. And when and everybody's struggling with the same shit. You know, all of us, but we feel like we're alone in it. And then when we go to some training, you just, like, typical mental health is just, you're just making me feel worse about life, you know? And so when you come in and you present a solution and it's relatable and fun, you see the room is just like, he's speaking to me. Right? And this work, I can do this, I can do that, I can take that BAMO breath, right? And that's I mean, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, literally.
We all did it. And so while you're doing that, Travis is texting me. We're going to start every meeting with that.
I said,
absolutely.
During the thing,
I said, every meeting.
Before we do the good morning, we're doing BAMO breath, and then we're going to do the good morning. Every Tuesday, that's what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So when we do our sessions every week, and Gambo, and this is our third tour together. Project program.
Third tour, I like that.
He knows that I like to take up positions around the tent at different times and gauge how are people receiving the message. Because we'll talk afterwards about, do we need to tailor something, right? There's certain individuals that I key in on to see if we're even breaking the barrier. Because they're the ones that we're never getting all the time.
Just check out everything.
So right off the bat, I noticed this morning, one of those individuals, you had his full attention, and I was blown away. Secondly, I continued to, look over at Travis, and I was highly impressed that for 90% of the conversation, his phone was on the table, and he was engaged.
Wow,
Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty high compliment.
So I appreciate you. That's what I'm doing if I'm not
watching to see.
I'm watching to see what can we do better to improve, because look, you do the same thing 52 times a year, 5 years in a row. That stuff's stale. Right? We have to continuously change how we're delivering the message, who is delivering the message, what the message is, so we continue to have engagement.
Yep. And I want you to talk about the one thing you told me, right? What you said, I think you've been doing this for 6 years, right? This kind of safety summit, speaking engagement, post-COVID, and you'd said this was the first time somebody came up afterwards.
So every year since COVID, so 6 years now, we've had some sort of speaker involved in Mental Health Awareness Month, sometimes during Safety Week. And for the first time in that time frame, somebody from the audience, and not just one, but about a dozen people came up and just shook my hand and said, thank you.
Yeah. After it today. Yeah.
And I was blown away because normally they can't wait to get out.
Yeah. Where's food? Yeah.
Right.
I'm out. You know, and that's the stuff that I love, because I get to see that, witness that happen. Right. And back to kind of what we were talking about, like another workshop I did for a kind of specialty contractor in Atlanta, same thing, you know, big group of people, and like, and they were like, they came up to me and they're like, man, this, you know, it's so cool to know that my employer's giving me training that's helping me as a dad, not as a, you know, safety, improve safety as a, you know, carpenter out there. Like this, because that's what they feel like. Most of the reasons you're doing stuff is just, you need more from me, right? Like I got to make more money and save you more, whatever. And when you give them like this training, because that's what I say at the beginning of it, like this training is for you as a person, as a dad, as a mom. I don't care. We hope you apply it out there,
Right.
But and then they see that that's genuinely what it's about, and then it shows that, like, okay, we've got leadership that is finding tools that help me as a mom. You brought something in that met me where I'm at, didn't make me feel like the only reason I'm doing this training is to make more money for the company, right? Like, which is what a lot of safety training feels like. And that's the stuff I love, because you just, again, what we're doing at My Steady Mind, right? This proactive has never existed, ever, you know, and this is the first time it's been available to the masses.
Yeah.
Legitimate proactive mental training, right? And that's what I love to get to see, is watching people, because everybody needs it, you know, but there's just, it's never been available, you know. All anybody's ever known is something's wrong, I need to go get therapy or medication or treatment. Like, that's my options, you know. And which there's always a need for that, and there's nothing wrong with the treatment. You know, I've had it multiple times, but it's training that 85% of the people need. You know, and when you give it to them, and then again, talk a little bit more. I love when I hear like by making it fun and funny is a big part. You know,
and establishing boundaries. You know, when I got here about 5 weeks ago and meeting the site and all of the employees, you know, definitely off the break, you have to establish who actually everyone with respect and dignity.
Yes.
Right. Everything else is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And then you get that buy-in. These guys are like, wow, well, this is how holder. This is going to treat us. And once you get that buy-in, the relationships after that are just, to me, amazing.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on site and walking the site and walking the Virginia or something like that, when I'm talking to the workers, we're not talking about safety. We're talking about the grandson graduations, where they got their 40th wedding anniversary coming up. We're talking about everything but work. And they just stop and say, well, got a minute. And I love to listen to the stories that they share. And to me, that's the rewarding part. Just opening up those channels of communication is invaluable. But that's what we developed here.
Yep.
And it's super cool. And like you said, you could feel it in
Oh,
the
yeah.
air. If it was a toxic environment,
Yeah.
you're going to know.
Oh, yeah.
Like Travis said, if the housekeeping is out of control,
Yeah.
this place is out of control.
Yeah.
It starts with that when you come through the gate.
Right.
Like we got a special thing going.
You
here.
do, and I want to give a huge shout out, you know, to Holder, because you all, and I'm not, like I said again, it's a name I've heard in the industry a bunch. Is like, oh, Holder. So like, you know, that, and it, now to get to come in and see it, and witness it, you know, and like it is something special, you know, and we're grateful to just help and continue to help and differentiate, you know. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm glad you guys came out. I got a lot of really good feedback today from a number of people. I think that it's important to find things that people can engage in and then stay with them. So it's I can't say enough. I think that it's great. I've enjoyed the little bit of stuff that I've read and kind of started to work on. And I think just being, to Casey's point, I think Casey does a very, very great job at what he does and how he supports the team. Right? Like, he's not in the day-to-day mess every day, but he helps me build my vision. Right? Like, that's the support. Like, I don't need Casey there every day going, you're doing a good job, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like, I know he knows that or he thinks that because of the way he supports me, right? And then when we have conversations, the presence. Hey, Casey, this is what I'm thinking, right? And I get that initial feedback, and then we go on about, and we solve problems and communication, you know. And I think that having ways to help de-stress and understand, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the routine I need to go do real quick so that I can kind of declutter my brain. Because, I mean, at any one point in the day, I may deal with an HR issue, and then I have someone else on my team asking me a question about constructability, and then I'm worrying about who's going to yell at me next week about what's behind schedule. Like, and there's just, it's chaotic.
And then go ahead and throw life on top.
Yeah. And then I got a 15-month at home, and like,
That's what I'm
all
saying.
this stuff, and it's just like, but like,
Then I'm coming at it going, you're not controlling any of your field costs.
Yeah.
What's going on, Travis?
right, like, so it's just all of these things. But like I said, I think that to your point early on, it starts at the top, and having a shared culture and a shared vision and a shared goal to work towards, and understanding that the different parts are doing that. Like, same thing with Michael. Since he's been here, dude, that's you. You go do it. You don't need to check in with me. Just there are a few things I want you to call me on. Other than that, you run the show, man. And what support do you need from me?
Right.
Like, we're on the same page. Let's go get after what it is we're trying to do.
Yep. Right.
And sometimes that idea right there, kind of like starting a business or, being an entrepreneur, it's just a lot of effort behind the scenes.
Right.
And there's a lot of stress. And how do I get these people to react? And how do I get these people to do this and do that? And I think having different ways to go connect yourself, as he said. Yeah. It is really helpful, and keeping it like to the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's one of the things I really enjoy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the thing too that I'll say to that I've just got to see that you guys, I'm sure whether you don't know it or not, but what is a person that gets to work with a lot of different organizations and industries, and a big reason why I know you all are successful and will continue to be is everything out here is not driven by fear. Right. And that's how
rational.
Right. And that it's having that ability to be able to go to my boss and bring a problem up and not worry that, because that's a lot of times where shit gets sideways is, when everything's like controlled, conditioned by fear, and it's all this and I see something out there that's wrong, I'm not going to bring it to your attention, or I'm not going to make a suggestion for something to have that ability to laugh about it and come in and there's going to be times when we're getting each other's mix, but I know that if I bring something in and
what was that
that's
electrician's name this morning?
Which one?
Your little birdie in the field.
Ash. So
Ash came to you. Yeah.
he's a shop steward for over 200 electricians, and we are connected to the hip because they voice all their concerns to him. He comes directly to me, and I go up there and communicate them in real time. When I called him up this morning, that was unscripted. I wanted to show all of his employees that we're connected. I don't even know if they knew we had a relationship, but he's in my favorites every day. Michael, can we get some water over here? There's a barricade down below. This bathroom needs to be clean, because the guys are reporting it to him. He's a shop steward. He gives it to me, and I go out there and get it corrected. But I wanted to show them. There were so many people there this morning. I think he was outside. They called him in, but the guys love him. He's been in the trade for 35 years. And even at lunchtime, he came up and said, "Man, that was amazing." I said, "I hope I didn't embarrass you, put you on the spot."
Michael's not that embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's come on up here and share the love. But I think
that was flower story.
Oh, the flower story. Oh, yeah. But it's
Michael's the only
I
man
think
that's
outside
ever
the
given
box.
me flowers.
Oh,
That's
awful.
a true story. He got promoted about 5 years ago to senior superintendent. And our foreman super meetings, there's always about 50 guys deep in the morning. I said, well, I can get him a bottle of bourbon, I can get him a cigar. And I said, you know what? Men don't ever get flowers from a man.
Yeah.
So that morning, I
love it.
I don't think I've ever gotten flowers from
I brought him flowers. I told everybody to record this. You'll never see it again. And I was congratulating him on his promotion.
Yeah.
I said, if you never received flowers in your life as a man, here you go. He's never received flowers in his life.
And that's one gift he's never going to forget.
Ever.
And he shows the video. It's a video. He shows it all the time. But it was from the heart. It was genuine. It wasn't to embarrass him. Because men, they don't get flowers. In front of men.
In the funeral. That's the only time that
Yeah, right.
No,
And I think that just goes back to what you were talking about, just the connection and the caring and the culture and the give a fuck.
Being intentional about the thought.
And I think I'm just changing the narrative a little bit.
The whole
he
thing.
says I've never received flowers in my life.
You hear that thing all the time, right? And we'll get a wrap up here in a minute, but that feel like people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Right? And in the world that we live in right now, where everybody feels disconnected, lonely, and isolated, struggling with the newborns, and like everybody has got that backpack, right? We talked about putting it on in the morning, and everybody's showing up with it, and for leadership especially to be able to like meet them where they're at, and give them some tools and techniques, and that's what's fun about like the mental fitness is just like being able, when they come to you in that moment, they're spinning out or whatever, you just go, hey man, BAMO. Right? And it doesn't come off as like, take a breath, chill out. Like, and it shows like, okay, and they can do it with me. Let's do a BAMO real quick. All right, now go get after it, right? And just doing things different, and having fun. And that's what it takes to change a kind of a industry, and do it the way it needs to be done. And this old, like, when I was your age shit, and pull yourself up by the bootstrap, like, that there's still always a time and a place for that, right? But it can't be the only way we do things, especially, and that's what you all are doing. That's what's going to mean. I know Holder's going to have a lot of long-term longevity because you're doing and integrating things that are going to meet the needs of your future workforce, right? The ones that are going to run Holder for the next 40 years. And that's what's cool about proactive mental fitness training is this can become a huge recruiting tool, retention tool, right? Because youngsters, I say, right, the kids coming up now in any industry, they're coming to companies and they're saying, hey, what kind of mental training do you guys have, right? And if you're like, well, we have a suicide hotline and an EAP, you're a dinosaur, right? You're a dinosaur to them. They're the first generation to see mental health as health, and they want to proactively work on it. And so, like, it's just setting you all up, for long-term success and just continuing to grow. And that's all I want. I want you all to have success personally and professionally. And I'll just kind of wrap it up by saying again, thanks for having us out here. And like I said, I'm learning from you, and we just want to help you all, meet your goals and help your people and bring this wonderful world of mental fitness in, and then set a standard for other companies out there because everybody's trying to figure it out, and you guys are helping us create the model.
Well, we appreciate it. It's been great.
Yep, my pleasure.
Look forward to our future sessions.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, no, we'll see you in the next session. You'll be with Coach Austin tomorrow, I think, right?
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Pleasure meeting you.